Hello everyone, welcome back to Bridgemaster Expert Series. Planning to complete the B series of deals here, 25 through 30 with any luck. Let's get started. I'm in 7 spades, always a good start. I know ducking a trick will never be right. Thanks for that little hint. Um, okay, what are we doing here? We have, well, I mean, we have an easy 7 spades. 3 clubs and 2 aces is 12 tricks. We need one more. This... it's a double squeeze, right? Or, well, I guess you get to choose. Because West is the only one guarding hearts. No, maybe it's not a choose. Let's be careful. West clearly has the Queen of Hearts. It would be insane to lead the King of Hearts otherwise. So that's who's guarding this card. In clubs, well, either one of them could be guarding the suit. But... also, I guess neither of them could be, or just one could. In diamonds, we could take the finesse, but we also could use the Queen of Diamonds as a threat in a squeeze. So... the thing is, there are 3 threat suits. You know one of them is guarded by West. If West also is the only one guarding clubs, then you should cash the Ace of Diamonds, run spades, and squeeze him in hearts and clubs. If East is guarding clubs, then you... you have a double squeeze where West guards... oh, wait, no, you don't. It'd be a type L double, and those don't work. If East guards clubs and West guards hearts, then you need to squeeze West, but you can't. Because the 2 suits he's protecting, hearts and diamonds, you don't have any threats that are sitting over him. They're both under him, i.e. you have to play them first. So you would have to pitch a threat before he has to pitch a guard. So if East has clubs, the only thing you can do is take the diamond finesse and hope for the best. And if West has clubs... then you should cash the Ace of Diamonds and take the club heart squeeze. So it seems to me that we should draw trump and maybe get some idea about who's more likely to have clubs in that case. Well, no clues there. They both had 1 spade. Okay. We can afford to cash 1 club, just in case the suit is 6-0, and then that's solved. Okay, it wasn't. Huh. The auction, yeah, didn't present the opponents with a chance to bid anything, so we can't really draw any conclusions about that. So, it seems like it's a guess about who has the 4th club, right? If anyone. But we can cash a bunch of spades before we decide. I think all of them. We'd have to find, what, 3 pitches from dummy? pitch a diamond and a club. Okay, so you can only cash all but one before you have to make a decision about whether you're taking the finesse or the squeeze. The thing is, I don't think we're going to learn much. The opponents can freely pitch quite a few hearts and diamonds, and so we don't gain any real information from what they're pitching. So I don't think cashing the spades particularly does anything. In both lines, we would get to test for clubs 3-3 before we have to commit to anything dangerous. So I don't think that that's like the tiebreaker. I wonder, though, if West has the clubs and the king of diamonds, he's going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure when we cash the spades, right? And maybe he'll have to discard something that gives us real information. Yeah, you can afford to cash all but one, so I think you might as well. They've both pitched hearts twice. East pitches a third heart while West pitches a diamond. They started with 9 hearts. They've pitched 5 and played 2. So they have 2 hearts remaining. You know, maybe is this 3 of hearts an important card? I don't think so, but I mean, this club certainly isn't. West pitches another diamond, and so does East. Whoa! A club pitch. I mean, that doesn't say that much, I guess. Because if West has only 2 clubs, it's kind of free to pitch a club. If he has 4, he's abandoning the suit. Because he's under so much pressure to figure out what to discard. Could he have 5? I mean, I think it's possible. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But it suggests that West is running out of safe things to pitch, right? And I believe you can actually just cash this last spade. For some reason I thought you couldn't. But you can afford to pitch a heart from dummy. It's not doing anything, right? Uh-huh. West pitches another diamond. So the defense still has 2 hearts, don't they? I think East has hung on to the 10 or something like that to make sure. I don't know. I don't think West would be pitching a club from 4 here. If he still had a diamond left. And certainly he doesn't have a small heart. So West has a single heart, the queen. And I haven't paid enough attention to diamonds, have I? I mean, they've pitched a lot. I'm not sure quite how many. Well, I know how many hearts they've pitched, and I know how many clubs they've pitched, and I know how many total cards they've pitched, so I can go back and work out the diamonds. They pitched 5 hearts and 1 club. That's 6. And they had to discard 5 times each as 10 on the run of the spades. So they must have pitched 4 diamonds. Out of the 9 they started with, there are 5 diamonds outstanding? Is that right? That's crazy. That seems like too many. Maybe there are only four, and the heart was pitched that I forgot about. But this is the critical juncture. Do we cash the ace of spades? Sorry, diamonds. Hoping to finesse West in hearts and clubs. Not finesse, geez, words. To squeeze West in hearts and clubs. Or do we play a club? I feel like... I mean... Well, hang on. If East has 3 clubs left, that's the only situation in which... If West has 3 clubs, then I win by cashing the ace of diamonds, right? Because he'll be squeezed in clubs and hearts. If East has 3 clubs, then the diamond finesse is not necessary. I can play the ace and hope he has the king. He's already been squeezed down to 1 diamond in that case. So you can actually take the diamond finesse, in quotes, by just leading the ace here. And if neither of them has 3 clubs, then of course the clubs are coming in. So I think ace of diamonds is always correct, right? Yeah, West pitches a heart because it turns out he was dealt 5 clubs. So why did I think that this line would require me to guess whether to cash the ace of diamonds or finesse it? At the beginning, while I was taking that line and setting things up, I thought I would come down to a guess, but it was actually ironclad. I could not fail by cashing the ace of diamonds. Well, if the contract is makeable, cashing the ace of diamonds makes it. If West has the king of diamonds and not the club guard, then you can never make it. So in that case, it doesn't matter how you play. But anytime the contract could be made, cashing the ace makes it. I mean, I guess it's kind of a count squeeze on East, in a way? Does that make sense? Let's see how Fred describes this. You're a trick short, 3 clubs with the diamond finesse. If East has the king of diamonds, you don't need the diamond finesse. You can cash the ace and squeeze West. Well, and squeeze somebody. And I guess this is like... Yeah, okay. So, Clyde Love would call this a type B2 double squeeze, where the hand with only 1 threat has the B threat, the one guarded by both defenders. And it has at least 2 winners in that suit. In which case, you just have to cash everything but those B cards in any order you like. And the opponents will be squeezed no matter... as long as it is possible to squeeze them, that line will work. Now here, of course, it's impossible for both opponents to guard clubs, right? They can't both have 4. But you can still play it as a double squeeze around clubs, squeezing whichever one of them happens to have 4. This line is good enough that it would work even if, like... Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I guess right. If East has the king of diamonds, then the B2 double squeeze is guaranteed. So you don't need to finesse him. And I guess the way I played it, I got to that conclusion eventually, but it took me forever. So it wasn't really a count squeeze. It was an actual, like, double squeeze where East had to ditch... Well, if he had the king of diamonds, which I guess he did, he had to ditch his clubs. Turns out he didn't have the clubs to begin with, but that means I get to squeeze his partner in hearts and clubs. Okay, I don't know why I didn't see that, but I found the play, and that's what matters. Oh, this is exciting. It looks like we have an easy contract, right? Actually, I should pay attention to the diamond spots. I assume West has 2. 10 to the ace. 5 to the 6. Well, this suggests maybe... East's 5 is either a 4-card suit or a 2-card suit, if they're signaling truthfully, which they don't have to be, but... So either West has a doubleton diamond... No, either West has 3 diamonds or 5 diamonds, probably. So... The only potential issue is what if... Well, so, okay, if the spades come in, we make the contract. And if the spades don't come in, we go down, right? So we have to increase our chances of bringing the spades in. I'm pretty sure a first-round spade finesse is a very embarrassingly bad play. Because you'll fail even when the suit is 3-2 if you, guess the jack wrong. So, instead, you play the king and then the ace... And you're like, oh, no, the suit is 4-1. If West has 4, well, too bad, you lose. But if East has 4, you have a trump coup, where you can rough dummies clubs in hand, right? So... You just have to make sure you use your dummy entries appropriately? To take roughs early, to prepare for the possibility... that East has 4 spades. So ace and a club rough. Actually, is it possible I could handle a 5-0 split? I should think about that. Because if so, maybe I should lead a spade to the king and then finesse. The answer is no, right? I don't have enough dummy entries to shorten appropriately. Do I? Maybe. Low to the king. West shows out. Finesse on the way back. Diamond, heart, heart, heart to the ace. Lead through East. That does pick up a 5-0. But it fails against a 4-1, which is much more likely. Against a 4-1, you need to cash the ace first, then cross to the king, so that you're in dummy to rough a club, because you need to rough twice. Then you play... Actually, hang on. Does that work? It doesn't, does it? You can't rough clubs enough times to deal with a 4-1. Ace cross, club, roughed. We're left with queen 10, 9 of spades. Is that right? No, queen 10. Oh, no, that works. And East has... So ace, cross, rough. Yeah, that works. You can pick up the 4-1 that way. The thing is, what do you do... hang on. The king of diamonds... You want to cash the king of diamonds to make sure that they don't pitch it on the club, right? If you lead a club and they pitch a diamond, now you can't finish cashing the last diamond before taking the trump coup, right? But you actually don't have to, I believe, because you can pitch it on a heart. And if they rough, you over rough, draw trump, and cash the diamond. If they don't rough, you pitch a diamond and then continue leading from dummy. I think that's right. So ace, low to the king. So that we're in a position... Yeah, we could have taken a different line to try to succeed against 5-0 trumps. But 4-1 is more common, so we do that. Now, we could cash the king of diamonds and 3 hearts to the ace, and then lead through east. That'll succeed anytime east has at least 3 diamonds and at least 3 hearts. But we don't... Well, actually, it would have to be exactly, wouldn't it? Because we already know he has 4 spades and at least 3 clubs. So he has at most 6 red cards. And we need them to be specifically 3 diamonds and 3 hearts if we take that line. But we can also succeed if he has at least 3 hearts. We don't need exactly 3 if we play the hearts in this way. Leave the diamond uncashed. Now lead the heart. You can pitch a diamond, and east is still trump-cooed here. Obviously, it would have done east no good to ruff the heart, even if he could, because we would just over-off draw trump and cash the diamond. So that's kind of a theme you see in a lot of trump-coup hands, is you don't necessarily have to cash all the winners in the side suits. If there are spare... Like, cashing winners in hand is dangerous. If you can get to a point where you're cashing winners from dummy, and you still have enough winners left in hand if they ever ruff, then you want to do that as early as possible, I guess. I don't know. All right, what's going on here? We have 5 certain spade tricks. Oh, did anything in the auction? No. 5 certain spade tricks. 2 minor tricks is 7. If the hearts were to come in, you would have 11 tricks. And you could easily ruff a single diamond in the south hand for 12. Now, what if the hearts don't come in? Then you would want to take 2 diamond ruffs in the south hand, right? Because you can't, like, alternatively, you could try to take 1 club ruff, or no, 2 club ruffs in the north hand, but that's, like, never going to work. Because you have a diamond, you have a heart to lose, and you have to lose a club before you can start ruffing them. Unless you pitch them on spades, which, like, come on, get real. So I think the main line should be ruff diamond in hand, ace queen of hearts, getting the bad news, cross the dummy with a spade, ruff another diamond, cross back to hand again with a spade. Can't afford to cash a club, because then when you lose the heart, they'll cash a club themselves. But as long as you hang on to these... So, okay, one of the threats the opponents have is... You could try... Here, okay, something you could try that seems sort of natural. Ruff a diamond, ace queen of hearts, cross in spades, ruff another diamond, cross back in spades, cash 1 heart so that they only have 1 winner left, and then just start leading spades, saying, sure, go ahead and ruff in whenever you want. I'll take the rest with by ruffing back in, cashing the spades to pitch my last 2 losers from dummy. That doesn't work, though, because they can wait until you're out of spades in the dummy to ruff, at which point you can't get back to your own spades. So what you need to do instead is lose the 4th heart proactively at a time when dummy still has a spade left to get back to you. I don't think you can make it if spades are 4-1 and hearts are 4-1 and the person short in spades can ruff a heart. This queen of clubs is... I don't know, it's making me nervous. Why do I have this card? My line doesn't involve it at all. I don't think I need it. I don't know. I don't think there's really any situation. Well, we'll see. I'll try the line that I claimed was correct. Ace Queen getting the bad news. Yeah. Spade over. Ruff a diamond. Spade winning? Ah, of course. I was worried that the person short in spades and long in hearts would ruff this trick. But he can't. Obviously, it would be legal for him to do so, but it would be disastrous. He would ruff it and then have no way to try to cut me off from my hand. He would just have to lead a minor or a heart. Anyway, whichever way he does it, I win in dummy, draw the last trump, cash the other ace, and cash spades. So he has to allow me to win this spade to get back to hand. And I can say, okay, well, in return, I'll let you win a heart. Have fun. And he has to return a minor suit card, having nothing else in his hand. We just win the ace and cross the dummy's good... not dummy's good spades. The good spades in hand. Nice. So the queen of spades isn't... The queen of clubs isn't really worth anything, except to make it so that West can't beat the contract by leading a club, basically. Which, I don't know. I think it would be fine if we didn't have it and West just didn't find the lead, but sure. Part of the contract of Bridgemaster, if there is one, is that the defense may find the wrong lead, but they will generally defend correctly after that. So I don't think it would be so crazy if West led a non-club. But sure, give me the queen and him the king so that it's not even a possibility, and that's fine too. Is this not just a major suit squeeze? What else is going on here? Oh! They're going to duck this diamond, aren't they? Yes. If East had won the ace, I would have an easy contract. Now I have a slightly tougher time. Remember that simple squeezes require you to have only one loser. And then you can squeeze that loser out. If you have two losers, the timing is wrong, and you can't like squeeze one of the losers out and then lose the other. You have in a simple squeeze. So instead, we're going to have to do some more work. We're going to be fine anytime hearts are 3-2. Just cash 2 hearts, overtake the ace, and enjoy those. Likewise, when spades are 3-3, we'll also be fine. But if hearts are 4-1 and spades are 4-2, and the same player has length in both suits, we should be fine somehow. Some sort of strip squeeze. I say strip squeeze because like that's the most common 2-loser squeeze, and it seems like the one we're going for here. And the idea, I guess, is... yeah. When we cash the clubs, all of them, put yourself in the shoes of a defender who has 4 hearts and 4 spades. You're going to keep all 4 hearts and all 4 spades, right? Which means you can't keep a diamond. At which point, declarer can play heart, 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 spade, 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 lose a spade, and you have to return a heart to dummy's ace. So the point of the strip squeeze is to strip the opponent with 4-4 in the majors of his exit card in diamonds, presumably West, because we know East has the ace. But if West has the ace, it's just as good, right? Yeah, there goes the diamond. Or rather, if it's East, we're squeezing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, we cash 2 hearts, testing that suit. Unlucky, West has 4 of them. Now we can cash the spades. Would you look at that? West has 4 of these as well. But that means we know his last 2 cards, a spade and 2 hearts. No diamonds, importantly. So we cash the heart and lose a spade to West and win the ace of hearts. Is this a stepping stone squeeze? I think it is, right? I mean, I don't know. I think that's right. I would just call this like the general term for this is a strip squeeze, but I think specifically it might be a stepping stone because it's so named because you have winners in dummy that you can't get to, and you use a defender as a stepping stone to get to the dummy. Right? If I could cash 3 hearts and then cash the ace, I wouldn't need, if I had a single entry out there not in hearts, I wouldn't need the defense. The stepping stone squeeze allows you to use a defender to get back a winner that you kind of always had but just didn't have the entries to cash. Let's see what Fred calls it. If East wins the ace of diamonds and returns the suit, then South can employ a simple squeeze, yes. East does a good job by ducking the ace of diamonds. Well done. Now, you've refused to rectify the countdown to 1. You can't use a simple squeeze. However, the stepping stone squeeze works just as well here. So good. I'm glad I caught the name. You can cash 2 rounds of hearts first if you want. I didn't bother. And 3 rounds of spades. Sure, that would make it simpler because you wouldn't worry that you missed an important discard, but sure. On the last club, West has to keep his hearts and a spade guard. So he has to ditch his last diamond, and you can throw him in with a spade. He has to put you in dummy. Stepping stone squeeze is a 2-loser, 3-suit squeeze. I mean, it's a 2-suit squeeze, right? I don't agree there's a 3-suit squeeze. The 4 of diamonds is, I don't know, I guess kind of, you could call it that. The 4 of diamonds is an important card. It is West's exit card. But you don't have to think about it that way. You can just think about it as imagine that instead of the 4 of diamonds, West had another spade. Let's say the spade suit was 5-0 or 5-1. The declarer would do the exact same thing, and the exact same squeeze would work against West. You'd be forcing West to pitch his spare spade winner instead of his diamond exit card. So it's not really important what West's card is that isn't the 3 cards we're squeezing in the 2 suits of relevance, right? The fact that this card is a diamond, in my opinion, does not turn this into a 3-suit squeeze. It's just a 2-suit squeeze with 1 spare busy card in the West hand. At least in the old squeeze literature, they called cards busy if you had to hang on to them because they were doing something important, and idle if you could afford to throw them away. So West's 2 hearts are busy, and West's spade winner is busy. If he had a spare spade winner, that would be busy. He doesn't. Instead, he has a diamond exit card, and that's busy. I think it's a 2-loser strip squeeze, in my opinion. Not really any different from the other 2-loser strip squeezes we've done, except it has a cool name. 6 no trump, okay? Ducking again. So this is another one where if East had won the ace, then we'd be looking at just 1 loser, and we'd be trying to squeeze West in hearts and spades. If we know he has the 10 of hearts and probably not the ace. Actually, yeah. Well, anyway, we would then hope that he has 4 spades. 4 spades would be enough, and then he would be squeezed on the run of the minors. The strip squeeze, well, with 2 losers, you can't do that. You have to do something else. There should be some 2-loser strip squeeze available, right? I think it's just a delayed duck thing where you cash all the minors, pitching 1 spade, and then you have to guess the distribution. That's the downside of the 2-loser squeezes. Is you often have to guess the remaining cards a little bit more carefully because you can't afford to just cash all the side suit winners like you can in a one loser squeeze. Or all of the winners in all but one suit. So when we run diamonds and clubs, we can pitch one spade from dummy safely. But on the last club, we will have to diagnose the position correctly, I think. If we judge that a defender who has 4 spades has dumped all the spades, we need to pitch dummies 9 of hearts and cash 3 tricks in spades. If we judge that that hasn't happened, we need to pitch the spade and lose a heart to the ace, hopefully pinning the 10 that we squeezed West down to a singleton 10. I guess we cash diamonds first? It feels to me like if a person has 5 clubs and we cash clubs first, we could get in trouble somehow. I'm not sure of the details. I'm not going to examine it too closely because I don't think it matters very much. Okay, so West has short diamonds, specifically 1, and is pitching clubs. He's pitched 4 clubs. That's quite a few. And he did have a 5th club. So yeah, I think there was something there where, like, if you cashed 4 clubs first, maybe West could dodge this by, I don't know. Anyway, he had exactly 5 clubs. So East had 2 clubs and 4 diamonds. Three clubs? Wait a minute. What did I get wrong there? Didn't dummy have 2 clubs and I had 4? And I claimed West... Oh, West only pitched 3 of them, not 4. Right. And then he failed to follow suit on the second round of clubs. So he pitched 3, followed once, so he had 4 clubs. Got it. So now we sort of have to count West's hand a little bit. Do we think he's abandoned the heart or the spade? If he abandoned the spade, he did it a little earlier than necessary, which can be a good deceptive play by the defense if they know what's coming anyway. So we shouldn't necessarily assume that the last card he's pitching is the suit he's giving up. We should count things a little. West pitched 3 times on clubs. No? A spade. This is a heart. What was the one before that? Did I forget it? It was another heart, right? So we know West had 4-1 in the minors, therefore 8 cards in the majors. The squeeze only works if he has at least 4 spades. And I think he's only pitched 1. So pitching a heart and then cashing the spades is never going to work. We pitch a spade and lose a heart, pinning the 10. Okay, I wasn't paying as close attention as I maybe should have been to the discards, but I guess it was good enough. Yeah, I sort of vaguely half remembered West pitching a heart, but I couldn't quite be sure. Turns out I was right. He must have pitched the heart, but... Okay, cool. Anything that we need to check in with Fred for here? Not Well, I don't know. I guess maybe he'll tell me whether it matters the order you catch the minors in. Yeah, so if East wins, you have a simple squeeze, no problem. East does well by ducking, yes. A tool is a squeeze known as a vice? See, this is why I prefer the Clyde Love approach. There's all these different names, like, you have to know 15 different kinds of squeezes. It's like, no. There's just this is another example of a two-loser strip squeeze. And the details of the opposing cards are not that interesting. This is a delayed duck, in a way. I don't know. I don't know what a vice squeeze is, or I don't really care. I guess this is it. And then the hard honor pins the 10. Sure. Mechanically, it functions just the same as a lot of other two-loser strip squeezes. I don't care to know what it's called, because I don't think it improves your ability to play it. Anyway, East did open 2 spades, so we know something about the spade suit. We know East has 6 of them. That's kind of cool. Presumably this is a club ruff, yeah. So East had 2 clubs. Oh, I see. This is a trump squeeze. So, okay. We can cash some hearts, and it's right to do so, but let's think first about how we're ever going to take any tricks. We're not going to set up a good spade by roughing them. East has way more than we do. So basically we need a trick from the queen of diamonds, which would mean ace king dropping the queen, pretty much, right? But, well, what if East has the queen of diamonds? Then if he's the only one guarding spades, we could squeeze him. So we could try drawing trumps, crossing to a diamond, roughing a spade so that East is the only one guarding them, getting rid of West's last spade, and then run hearts. The problem is the diamonds are blocked. I'll have to pitch a diamond from dummy, and when I do, East can unguard the diamonds because the ace will be in the way. So we don't have the entry necessary for the spade diamond simple squeeze. Well, unless West happens to have only a singleton spade and East has 7, in which case we could just cash all the hearts. But there's no need for that. When you don't have the entries for a simple squeeze and there's a trump suit, sometimes you can use the trump to compensate for the entry deficiency in what's called a trump coup. I've talked about these a few times before. This is a very by-the-book setup for a simple trump squeeze, where instead of roughing out the spades right away, you defer that. East has pitched 2 spades, by the way, so he now has the same number as dummy does. We can pitch 1 more. And now we toss a diamond, right? Yeah. We couldn't have cashed 1 diamond before this. So East is now, assuming he has the queen of diamonds, squeezed. He can't hang on to 2 spades and 3 diamonds to the queen. So he has to pitch 1 of them. If he pitches a spade, we cross the dummy, now rough the spade, getting rid of West's spade guard, cross back to dummy again, and enjoy the long spade. If he unguards diamonds, we play ace king of diamonds, rough back to hand, and cash the jack. Here, we have such a clear count on East's hand that we know what he's unguarded. But in general, in trump squeezes, you sometimes have to guess or read the cards carefully. In this case, we've been given plenty of information. We know East only has 1 spade. Unless he was dealt 7, and then I've made an error, I guess. We rough this, dropping the last spade, cross the dummy, and cash the spade. So a trump squeeze is a lot like a crisscross squeeze, which we had earlier, much earlier, I think, in the expert deals, where you have threats in one threat in each hand, and neither threat has an entry in its own suit. But both suits, you have an entry in the other hand. You compensate for the entry deficiency in one suit by using the other suit. Like, if you have ace deuce of diamonds and a small club in one hand, and like ace deuce of clubs and a small diamond in the other, anyone who is the only person holding two of both minors has to pitch one, and then you unblock that suit. Oh no, it's not ace deuce and small, it's right. Ace of diamonds and two little clubs opposite ace of clubs and two little diamonds. Or, more simply, you could say like the queen jack of diamonds to make it clearer. But the point is only one defender can guard the diamonds, and likewise for clubs. You come down to 3 cards, they have to come down to 3 as well. Whichever minor, or whichever suit they pitch their stopper in, you cash that ace and then cross back to the hand with that threat, using the winner in the other threat suit. So that's a layout where you have to guess things. A trump squeeze is just the same thing, except instead of having a spade winner in hand, I have a trump that I can ruff a spade with. But otherwise, it's basically the same thing. You have to have an entry in the opposite hand to be able to get back after ruffing. It's usually said that in trump squeezes, you need 2 entries to the dummy after you're done drawing all but one of the trump. That's not quite true. You need to be able to be in dummy 2 times after drawing trump, which could mean having 2 entries, or it could mean finishing drawing trump in dummy and having 1 entry. Either way works. But here it was just the prototypical, straight out of a book trump squeeze, where we are given all the information we need about the defensive hands to guess things correctly. Anyway, that's it for the Expert B series. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.